Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're jumping into something that's really shaking up how software gets made, AI-augmented development.
Yeah, it's a huge topic right now.
Absolutely. And just to be clear up front, this isn't really about AI replacing developers. It's much more about AI becoming a kind of powerful partner,
Yeah,
helping us write better code and, faster.
exactly. Think of it as amplification, not replacement.
Right. So we're exploring how AI is, well, basically rewriting the rules for software development. So just to define it clearly for everyone listening, AI augmented development, it means using AI tools, AI techniques to sort of boost and streamline the whole development process, right?
That's the core idea. It's about giving developers, giving you these intelligent assistants that can automate the boring stuff, suggest ways to improve things, even help track down those really tricky bugs in complex code.
I like the analogy of, say, a skilled architect. You've got the vision right, and the AI is like your super efficient team.
Yeah.
The builders, the engineers, they handle the routine bits, flag potential weak spots.
And sometimes even suggest clever solutions you might not have thought of.
Exactly. So it frees you, the architect, the developer, to focus on the big picture, the creative design, the overall strategy.
Which is ultimately where the real value lies for humans in the loop.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. Where are we actually seeing these tools making a difference right now? Like, what are the specifics?
Well, one of the most immediate and, frankly, visible impacts is with AI-powered code completion.
Ah, like the autocomplete we already have in our IDEs.
Sort of, but think. Autocomplete on serious steroids. These tools, they don't just guess the next word. They analyze your code in real time. They understand the context, coding patterns, and they've learned from, massive data sets of open source projects. GitHub Copilot is a prime example, running on OpenAI's Codec.
Now, I've heard a lot about Copilot.
Yeah, it's impressive. It can suggest whole chunks of code, like entire functions, boilerplate structures, even test cases sometimes. It really cuts down on the repetitive typing.
So it's more than just saving keystrokes then. It sounds like it's taking away some of the mental load too.
Absolutely. That's a key part of it. It redirects your mental energy. Instead of racking your brain for the exact syntax or remembering some standard library function.
You can focus on the actual logic of what you're building.
Precisely. Imagine you need to write, say, a function to sort some data, a common
Yeah.
task, right?
Yep.
Instead of typing it all out, the AI might just suggest the whole thing, often tailored exactly to the kind of data you're working with. That's a huge time and cognitive energy saver. Lets you tackle the unique parts of your project faster.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense for efficiency. But what about bugs? Because writing code faster doesn't help much if it's full of errors. Debugging is, let's be honest, often the worst part.
Oh yeah, the debugging headache. AI is making inroads there too, in a big way. We're seeing AI-powered static analysis tools now. These things scan your code for potential bugs, vulnerabilities, before you even hit run.
Before running, how does that work?
They use machine learning. They're trained to spot patterns and anomalies in the code that often indicate problems. Things like potential null pointer exceptions.
Ah, the classic. Trying to use something that isn't there.
Exactly. Or memory leaks, where your program forgets to clean up after itself. And crucially, security flaws like SQL injection, things you really want to catch early.
So it's kind of like having a super vigilant code reviewer working alongside you, constantly checking for common pitfalls.
That's a great way to put it. A tireless reviewer who never gets bored or misses the small stuff. Some tools even go a step further and suggest fixes for the problems they find.
That's pretty amazing. But I guess the question is, how good is it? Does it catch everything? Or does it sometimes flag things that aren't actually problems?
Yeah.
False positives.
Yeah, you hit on a key challenge there. They're not magic bullets. Especially with static analysis, AI can sometimes be a bit overzealous. You might get false positives. So refining these models to be more accurate, to have better judgment, that's an ongoing process. And definitely really complex, abstract, logical errors, things that need deep business context. AI still struggles with those.
Right. So human oversight, human judgment is still absolutely essential. You can't just blindly accept everything the AI suggests.
No, definitely not. Critical thinking from the developer remains paramount.
Okay, so code gets written faster, potential bugs get flagged earlier. What about testing? That's often another major bottleneck in the whole process. Is AI helping automate testing too?
It is, yeah. If you look at the whole development pipeline, testing is a huge area for AI impact. We're seeing AI help with everything from generating test cases to analyzing the results.
Generating test cases, how does that work?
Well, AI tools can look at your code's functions and requirements and automatically create a whole suite of tests. They can use techniques like fuzzing, yeah, where you basically throw tons of random or semi-random data at the program to see if it crashes or behaves unexpectedly. Great for finding edge cases and also mutation testing.
Mutation testing. Sounds sinister.
Maybe a little. It basically involves making tiny, subtle changes to your actual code and then checking if your existing tests fail. If they don't fail, it means your tests aren't robust enough to catch that kind of change. AI can automate generating these mutations and running the checks.
Wow, okay, so the AI isn't just helping write the code, it's helping write and validate the tests for the code.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop there. After tests run, AI can analyze the failures, look for patterns, and help pinpoint the root cause much faster. Think about that efficiency game. An AI not only generates tests, but then tells you, hey, the failure seems to be originating around these specific lines of code. That drastically cuts down debugging time for test failures.
This is all incredibly powerful stuff, which inevitably brings us to the big question everyone asks.
Yes, the replacement question.
Are these AI tools going to put developers out of work?
Look, the short answer, the one you hear everywhere, is no. That's maybe too simple.
Okay.
It's less about direct replacement and more about uh, a fundamental shift in what a developer does. AI is fantastic at automating the repetitive, the predictable tasks, but it can't replicate human creativity or deep problem-solving skills or that critical thinking needed for complex system design. Not yet, anyway.
So it's changing the job description, essentially. It's not AI instead of developers, but developers with AI.
Precisely. Think of AI as that incredibly powerful assistant, that co-pilot we mentioned. It takes the tedious stuff off your plate
Freeing you up for...
for the harder, more strategic parts. Designing complex system architectures, really understanding user needs, tackling novel problems that don't have cookbook solutions. That requires human insight. In fact, I'd argue developers who learn to leverage these AI tools effectively, they're going to be more valuable, not less.
Because they can deliver better software faster.
Exactly. They'll be more efficient, more productive. The skills that become premium are less about remembering specific API calls, which AI can handle, and more about high-level design, ethical considerations, understanding the why behind the code. Human creativity is still the driving force.
Okay, that makes sense. But like any powerful technology, I imagine it's not all smooth sailing. There must be challenges, right? Maybe some pitfalls to watch out for.
Oh, absolutely. This is where it gets really interesting and kind of complex. There are definitely hurdles.
Gotchas.
Well, one big one is the quality and reliability of the AI-generated code itself. While tools like Copilot can generate impressive code, sometimes it's just wrong. It might look plausible, syntactically correct, but it could have subtle bugs, be inefficient, or just not do what you actually intended. AI models can hallucinate, essentially making things up.
Hallucinate code. Okay, that sounds problematic.
It means you absolutely cannot just blindly trust and commit whatever the AI spits out. Human review, human understanding is still critical. You need to know what the AI generated and why.
It sounds a bit like the old days of copying code snippets from online forums without fully understanding them, but on a much grander scale.
That's actually a pretty good analogy.
Yeah.
You still need the underlying knowledge to use the tool effectively and safely.
Are there other major challenges, maybe around integrating these things into how teams already work?
Definitely. Integrating these AI tools smoothly into existing, often complex, development workflows and tool chains is a big task, especially in large organizations with legacy systems or massive proprietary code bases. You've got technical hurdles making everything compatible, managing the data these models need, ensuring security, and logistical ones, training developers, changing processes. It's not just plug and play.
And I suppose there's maybe a risk of skills getting rusty if the AI handles all the easy stuff.
That's a valid concern too, yeah. Skill atrophy. If developers become overly reliant on AI for fundamental tasks, do they lose some of that core coding intuition over time? It's something we need to be mindful of. Maintaining foundational skills remains important.
Okay, so quality control, integration complexity, potential skill atrophy, those are significant things to manage. What about looking ahead? Where is this all going? It feels like early days.
Oh, we're absolutely just scratching the surface. The potential is immense. As the AI models continue to get more sophisticated, more powerful,
Yeah.
expect even bigger transformations.
Like what? Can you give us a glimpse?
Well, imagine AI models that could generate not just code snippets, but maybe entire applications based on a high-level description you give it in natural language.
Wow, okay, that's a big leap.
Or think about AI tools that don't just analyze code before runtime, but continuously monitor live systems, predicting performance issues or failures before they happen, maybe even automatically optimizing the system in real time.
Self-healing, self-optimizing systems.
Exactly. The possibility is pretty staggering. But the core message, I think, remains the same for developers listening.
Mm.
Embrace AI as a partner.
Hmm.
Learn how to use these tools effectively. Because working with AI, combining human ingenuity with machine capability, that's how we're going to unlock the next level of creativity, efficiency, and innovation in building software.
Hmm. Right. So to kind of wrap things up, AI augmented development is clearly here, and it's changing the game. It's boosting productivity, helping improve code quality, making the whole development cycle faster.
Definitely accelerating things.
We've got tools doing intelligent code completion, catching bugs early, automating chunks of testing, transforming pretty much every stage. But as we discussed, there are real challenges too. Ensuring the quality of AI code, the complexity of integrating these tools, avoiding over-reliance.
Well, important considerations.
Yet the overall direction seems clear. The benefits are huge, and learning to work alongside AI seems key for developers moving forward. It unlocks potential.
Unlocks potential. That's
Yeah.
the perfect way to phrase it.
So, maybe a final thought for you, our listener, to chew on. With human creativity and problem solving amplified by these increasingly powerful AI tools, what kind of software, what kinds of solutions that seem maybe impossible today might actually become achievable tomorrow? Something to think about. Stay curious.